In the rhythm of life, the body speaks long before it becomes silent. For many, the final year of life begins not with loud alarms, but with quiet whispers, subtle shifts that only the watchful heart can hear. Families often look back and say, "We didn't realize until it was too late." But the truth is, the signs were there all along. Sacred messages wrapped in gentle decline. Today, we begin to unveil these signs, one by one, so you can recognize them and walk this path with compassion and presence. Before we continue, if this message resonates with you, like this video, subscribe, and type "I am aware" in the comments to honor those walking this sacred journey. Sign 1. Unexplained weight loss. The first sign the soul may be preparing for departure is subtle, yet powerful. Unintentional weight loss. You may notice belts fitting more loosely, favorite clothes hanging differently, or meals left half-eaten. Many dismiss this as normal aging, but when weight begins to fade without reason, it's a sacred signal the body is shifting. It may no longer be absorbing nutrients the way it once did. Muscles begin to shrink, and appetite slowly disappears. This is not simply about food, it's about life energy, dimming quietly, like the final glow of a candle nearing its end. When muscle is lost, and the body weakens, movement becomes harder, and the risk of falls, illness, and fatigue increases. You might try to help by preparing richer meals, adding supplements, or encouraging snacks. But if the body continues to shrink despite your efforts, know this: it's not just about calories. The body is slowly letting go. Forcing large meals may not help. In fact, it may bring more discomfort. Instead, shift your care toward ease. Offer soft, easy-to-digest foods. Keep them hydrated. Focus on comfort over correction. There's also a spiritual layer to this change. As the body sheds physical weight, it is, in a sense, lightening its earthly ties. The appetite fades not from boredom, but because the body no longer craves the things of this world. Food becomes less important. Taste dulls. Hunger is no longer a signal of survival, but a forgotten echo. Understanding this allows you to shift your focus. Less on why aren't they eating, and more on how can I help them feel at peace today. If you're noticing this change in someone you love, pause and listen. Their body may be speaking in a language only the heart understands. Weight loss in this sacred stage is not just physical. It's part of the soul's gentle preparation, and your role is not to fight it, but to witness it with reverence, with love, and with the grace to let each day be enough. Sign 2. Extreme fatigue and weakness. As the body moves deeper into the final chapter of life, one of the clearest and most humbling signs is a profound, unshakable fatigue. This is not the kind of tiredness that follows a busy day. It's a weariness that lives in the bones, an exhaustion that no amount of sleep can erase. You may notice that the smallest tasks, getting out of bed, walking across the room, holding a spoon, suddenly feel monumental. Even conversations become too tiring to finish. This isn't laziness or defeat, it's the sacred conservation of energy. The body, wise and intuitive, begins redirecting its final reserves toward the most essential systems. Movement, speech, and action no longer take priority. Instead, the soul begins to settle into stillness. In this phase, your loved one may start sleeping more during the day. Naps grow longer. Wakeful moments become shorter. They may fall asleep mid-sentence or struggle to stay alert even during their favorite activity. This is not something to be corrected. This is a natural response to the body's internal slowing. The heart may not pump as strongly. Muscles lose strength. Oxygen moves more slowly through the bloodstream. What once felt effortless now feels. To honor this fatigue is to understand that the body is asking for permission to rest, to step back from the busyness of life, and surrender to a quieter rhythm. Emotionally, this fatigue can carry deep weight. Many elders who were once fiercely independent begin to feel frustrated, even ashamed, of needing help. They may withdraw, say little, or avoid asking for assistance, not because they don't want your presence, but because they don't want to burden you. It's heartbreaking to witness someone you love shrink into silence. But this silence is not rejection. It's a cry for dignity. The best response is to offer support without pressure. Bring them water, sit beside them. Help with tenderness, not urgency. Let your care feel like a gift, not a demand. In this sacred slowing down, your presence becomes more powerful than any treatment or solution. To the family watching, this sign may feel like losing them before they're truly gone. But it's important to see fatigue not as failure, but as a signal. The body is transitioning from doing to simply being. And in this space, what they need most is love without expectation. If your loved one is growing weaker, quieter, more tired, honor the pace they now move in. The greatest gift you can give in this season is not more energy, but more compassion. Not more tasks, but more tenderness. Sit, listen, hold space. Let them know you don't have to do anything to be worthy of love. You already are. Sign 3. Cognitive confusion or withdrawal. When the soul begins its inward journey, the mind is often the first to drift into a softer place. What once felt sharp and focused may now seem foggy, and conversations that were once fluid begin to feel distant or fractured. A loved one may forget names they always remembered, or repeat the same question, just moments apart. This isn't forgetfulness, born from distraction. It's the mind loosening its grip on the physical world. The brain, like every part of the body, receives less blood, less oxygen, and fewer resources. As the body pulls inward to preserve energy, the mind often follows. This retreat isn't random. It's a part of the transition, the slow dissolving of the bridge between this world and the next. And though it may seem frightening, it is also sacred. During this stage, the world around them may begin to fade in importance. You may notice your loved one sitting in silence for long periods, uninterested in things that once mattered deeply to them. It might seem as though they're no longer present, but in truth, they are simply present in a different way. Tuned inward, preparing their spirit. Even things like music, prayer, or conversation may seem like too much. They may stop making eye contact, answering questions, or engaging at all. But don't be mistaken. Their soul is still listening, still feeling. They are simply letting go of the outside world so they can better hear what lies within. Mood changes may come too. Some become agitated, confused, or emotional. Others grow unusually peaceful, even serene. Their reactions don't always match the moment. This can be hard for families, especially if the person begins saying strange things or seems to forget lifelong memories. But these are not signs of failure. They are signs of shift. Their consciousness is thinning like a veil, moving toward the unseen. They may speak to people you cannot see, or refer to places that no longer exist in this world. Instead of correcting them, try stepping into their world. Ask gentle questions. Follow their lead. Be where they are, not where you expect them to be. If you see these changes, let love be your language. Your touch, your tone, your quiet company will matter more than anything you say. Sit beside them, even if they don't respond. Speak softly, even if they seem far away. They may not remember your name, but they will remember how you made them feel. Let your energy say, you are safe. You are not alone. This is the essence of spiritual caregiving, to be fully present, even when they seem to disappear, because the soul, even when the mind fades, always recognizes love. Sign 4. Frequent infections and slow healing. In the final seasons of life, the body begins to release its grip on the need to repair. What once healed quickly, scrapes, bruises, common colds, now lingers like a quiet echo. You may notice your loved one getting sick more often, catching infections that take weeks instead of days to recover from. Cuts may stay open, sores may return. Antibiotics that once worked swiftly now seem to only delay the inevitable. This is not negligence. It is the immune system bowing in quiet surrender. The body, sensing its cycle is coming to completion, stops pouring its energy into defense. This is not a battle lost. It is a transition on. The soul is preparing to return to its source, and the body is slowly making peace with that truth. Many families try everything: stronger medication, repeated doctor visits, even hospital stays. But healing becomes elusive, and you may begin to realize that the focus must shift. This is no longer a fight to restore the body. It's an invitation to care for it tenderly. Skin needs gentle touch. Hydration must be offered softly, without pressure. Blankets replace bandages, and comfort becomes the highest medicine. A humidifier, a cool cloth, a warm cup of tea, these become sacred tools. The goal is not to erase the symptoms, but to reduce suffering. You are not failing them when you stop chasing cures. You are honoring them by bringing peace. One of the most misunderstood aspects of this stage is that infections may not present the way we expect. There may be no fever, no dramatic symptoms. Instead, you might notice more confusion, sleepiness, or disinterest in eating. This is how the body signals distress now, quietly. Pay attention to the subtle changes: a sudden shift in energy, a withdrawn gaze, a cough that won't go away. These are not just signs of sickness. They are signs of release. And though it may be painful to witness, it is also a chance to respond with grace, to hold their hand, speak calmly, and say with your presence, "I see you, I will walk with you." As caregivers or loved ones, this is a sacred invitation, not to do more, but to do less with more intention. Create a sanctuary, not a sick room. Let your presence be the medicine. Speak softly, clean gently, offer warmth. And if your loved one begins to fade during these episodes, know that you have not lost them. You are simply holding space as they begin to cross the invisible threshold. This is the ministry of compassion, the divine act of midwifing a soul not into life, but back into the light. Sign 5. Major changes in breathing or circulation. As the journey nears its final steps, the breath begins to speak a language all its own. You may notice that your loved one's breathing pattern changes, sometimes shallow, sometimes labored, sometimes marked by long pauses. This is known as Cheyne-Stokes respiration, a sacred rhythm of the body that comes and goes like ocean waves retreating from the shore. It can be unsettling to witness. But it is not pain. It is transition. The body is slowing its rhythm. The lungs no longer pull in air with the same strength. The breath, once automatic and full, now becomes gentle and fragile, as if the body is preparing to release its final sigh. Alongside this shift in breath, circulation begins to change. Hands and feet may feel colder. Skin around the fingers, toes, or lips may appear bluish or mottled. These are signs that the heart is now prioritizing its final work, directing energy inward, sustaining only what is essential. Blood no longer reaches the outer parts of the body in the same way, and that is okay. It is not failure. It is the body's quiet reverence, conserving its final strength. You may see them breathe through their mouth, shift uncomfortably, or sit upright to ease their lungs. These responses are instinctive, natural, and sacred. They are not asking for panic. They are asking for presence. In this time, less truly becomes more. A cool cloth, fresh air, soft background music, or the gentle hum of a diffuser can bring profound comfort. If prescribed by a doctor, low-flow oxygen may ease the feeling of breathlessness, but even more important than machines is the environment you create. Speak peace. Sit close. Let your eyes say, "You are not alone." This is not a time to chase another solution. It is a time to offer stillness, to hold their hand without needing answers, to whisper that they are safe, seen, and deeply loved. These final shifts in breath and warmth are not symptoms to solve. They are sacred signs that the soul is preparing to let go of its earthly garment. Now that we've walked through these 5 sacred signs, unexplained weight loss, deep fatigue, cognitive withdrawal, slow healing, and changes in breath, we are no longer blind to the quiet wisdom of the body. These signs are not just medical, they are spiritual. They are messages wrapped in silence, asking for reverence instead of resistance. Knowing them doesn't make this journey easy, but it makes it meaningful, because now you don't have to be caught off guard. Now you can prepare. You can honor your loved one not with panic, but with peace. You can sit in presence instead of fear, and you can make the final days less about fixing and more about feeling, deeply, gently, and without regret. If you've stayed with us through all 5 signs, thank you. May this knowledge bring you grace in a time that often feels too heavy to hold. And may you remember, it's not about how much time remains, it's about how much love fills it. If this message helped you see things more clearly, type "I choose peace" in the comments. Like, subscribe, and share this with someone who may need it. Your support helps us continue spreading truth, comfort, and light.